What's going on, everyone? Virgil in the cut here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're like me, 2020 has been such a crazy roller coaster, dealing with stuff in the news, to the pandemic, to just trying to live a regular person life from day to day, whatever that means right now. It can be hard to find the energy or the motivation or the discipline to do the tasks and work toward your goals, completing the things that you know that you have to get done. Maybe you're in school and you're having so much trouble finding the motivation to study for a test or to write that paper. If you're working right now, you might be like pulling your hair out just trying to write the email because you spend more time thinking about writing the email or thinking about doing those reports than actually spending time doing those things. Keeping all that in mind and reflecting on the years of procrastination experience and struggle bus experience I've had, I actually created this YouTube channel to share some of those productivity tips, tricks, and routines that have worked for me, and even the ones that haven't worked for me, in the hope that you'll find something in this channel that gives you that productivity boost that you need. One of the most simple but most helpful methods that's worked for me to give myself a boost, especially in the last 2 weeks, is something called the Pomodoro method. You might be super familiar with it. In the last 2 weeks, if you're actually following my Twitch channel, I actually did 2 weeks in a row where every weekday I would get up in the morning and do an hour-long Pomodoro session, studying and working with everyone in the chat. So if you're unfamiliar with the Pomodoro session is, in this video, I want to walk you through how you can use the Pomodoro session and how it can actually boost your productivity, especially when you're feeling in a slump. If you're unfamiliar with how the Pomodoro method works, don't worry, I got you. I'll explain everything in this video and then actually do a Pomodoro session with you at the same time. It's actually something that I do on Twitch pretty regularly, so if you're interested in doing a co-op Pomodoro with me once or twice a week, you can check out my Twitch schedule below. Feel free to join me if you're looking for a little extra motivation and accountability. If you're revisiting this video or already know how to do the Pomodoro method and are just looking for the Pomodoro session, I'll leave a timestamp in the description below so you can jump right to your study and work session right away. All right, let's jump in. So keep in mind that this is just one way that you can crush procrastination and build discipline and systems into getting you closer and closer to your goals. But it does work for a lot of people. I hope it works for you. It's definitely worth giving a shot. So the general gist of the Pomodoro session is you are working on a single task uninterrupted for about 25 minutes. During that 25 minutes, you're not checking your phone, you're not switching between tasks, you're focused on that one task and that one task only. After you're done with that 25 minutes, you actually move and take a 5-minute break. And during that 5-minute break, you can get water, you can get up, you can stretch, you can watch YouTube videos, you can do anything you want during that 5-minute break. That's not the first thing that you were working on for 25 minutes. After that, you can repeat the Pomodoro session over and over and over again. So essentially, it's really just a 25-minute block of work or study followed by a 5-minute break. Another reason the Pomodoro session is so effective is it trains your brain to enter what we call the flow state. And so if you've ever experienced the flow state, it feels like you're so caught up in whatever it is that you're working on that you forget how much time has passed. And you look up and it's like 3 hours later or 4 hours later, and you're just so engrossed into whatever it is that you're focused on. That flow state is a state where we tend to be much more efficient, much more effective, and a lot more productive. Studies show it generally takes at least 15 minutes and more often more time than that to get into the flow state where you're not being interrupted by other distractions and you're just focusing on whatever task is at hand. And so the Pomodoro session actually trains your brain to focus for longer and longer periods of time, as opposed to having your attention being pulled in so many different directions. The goal is, by doing more of these Pomodoro sessions, you're actually training your brain to become more resilient and better able to focus for longer periods of time so you can tap into that flow state. Of course, once those 25 minutes are up, you actually have that reward in that 5-minute break period in between Pomodoro sessions. So you can use that 5-minute break to go get water, get a drink, go to the bathroom, stretch, watch YouTube videos, catch up on texts, do everything that you need to do to prepare yourself to get into the next session uninterrupted. And here's actually one of those additional benefits of the Pomodoro session is that by working it on keeping all of your distractions within that 5-minute block, you're batching all of those distractions together. So instead of checking your phone every 2 to 3 minutes and realizing you're checking your phone for no reason because no new texts have come in, no new app updates have come in, instead of doing that over and over again, you've actually kept it to a single 5-minute period where you do that all at once. And then you close your phone, you close all your other distractions, and you get back into the next session. All right, so let's try a Pomodoro session together. I'll actually walk you through step by step how I approach these sessions, but keep in mind, you can always tweak them based on what works best for you. When I approach a session, I always start with a reset. I want to eliminate any reason that I'm going to get up out of my seat over the next 25 minutes and interrupt my flow. So I usually already have my coffee out, my water's there. I usually do a quick posture check and make sure I'm sitting upright. If I'm online, I'll usually have any of the sites that I need to be on already up before I start the timer. Books, planners, everything should be readily accessible so you don't have to spend that next 25 minutes searching for all the things that you actually need. The second step is I always write down what I want to get done in the next 25 minutes. When you write down your goals, you're more likely to accomplish them. And also, if you're like me, you have a tendency to let your mind wander even during that 25-minute session. So it's always great to have a visual reminder in front of you to be able to remind you what the focus is for the next 25 minutes. I always recommend to keep things small and manageable. Again, you don't want to be overwhelmed by super crazy large tasks like, oh my gosh, I have to complete this 50-page project in the next 25 minutes. It's probably not going to happen. So keep things small and manageable so you can build momentum and build that confidence. Step 3, I definitely am guilty of this, but turning off all distractions is a huge must, especially my phone. Unless, of course, obviously, if you need your phone to do work. But for me, I usually don't. So I turn off my phone so that if there is a ping that could essentially distract me from working the next 25 minutes, I've gotten rid of that, right? I can stay focused during that 25 minutes. Again, we want to build that momentum. We want to keep the flow going. And then step 4 is actually what we're going to try right now. So we'll focus on working on whatever you've written down uninterrupted for the next 25-minute block, and I'll work along with you. I'll usually tune myself out. I'll actually mute myself here. But let me write down right now what I'm going to work on. Something that's easy to get started every single day is just plan my day. So go ahead and write down what you're working on as well. I write this down on a sticky note, and again, I always have that in front of me as a helpful reminder. But I will go ahead and get this timer started. Feel free to pause the video if you need to write down what you need to work on. But then let's jump into it. So we'll get started with this Pomodoro session in 3, 2, and 1. Good luck, everyone. And that's it. 25 minutes are up. Congratulations if you made it this far. We are now in the break part of this video. So you can use this part of the Pomodoro session to catch up on messages, watch a quick YouTube video, get up and stretch, drink water. Some people like to string a bunch of these Pomodoro sessions back to back to back. So you can also use this time to prep for the next session. Of course, if you do that, I definitely recommend taking a longer break after every 3 or 4 Pomodoro sessions, maybe 10 to 15 minutes, to let your mind kind of cool off in between these sessions. Some other pieces of advice, definitely be kind to yourself. I don't complete the tasks that I write out within 25 minutes every single time, especially if I'm working by myself. Sometimes I drift off and procrastinate. Nobody's perfect, but the larger improvement comes from building in this consistency and momentum every single day to get you closer to getting things done. Even if it's 25 minutes closer to your goal, or even just 15 minutes closer. So if you are charging forward with another 25-minute session, you can always hit that timestamp below in the description. As I mentioned earlier, you can also find me on Twitch for these live co-op Pomodoro sessions multiple times a week, and I'll leave my schedule in the description below as well. I'd also love to learn about your progress and what you're working on, so please feel free to be active in the chat. Love to connect with you there. So if today's session helped you, feel free to like this video, subscribe, hit the bell, all the things. If you have things that you are working on or other productivity tips you'd like me to highlight on this channel, let me know in the comment section below. I'm still learning how to be better each day, and I'd love to hear what works for you. Even if you didn't find that this video was for you, thanks for giving this video a shot anyway. Wishing you all the best. I'll let this timer run down all the way to 0 for the rest of this video, but hopefully we will see you in the next one.